Monday to Thursday in the evening, and also Saturday mornings 8, 9 and 10. We want to get building this community and make it absolutely amazing. You're already amazing and we already love you, which is why we bring you fabulous deals. But if you can do us a favour and do that, that would be amazing. Right, so we've had a thing today. We've Is that for Andrew?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you want one?
No, thank you.
Do you want one, Becky?
Okay, thank you.
Very milky. Use a little bit. Look, that is the second cup I've made because the milk split when I put it in there. Stephanie's tasted it.
Going around the corner.
Okay, thanks.
Right. Bye.
It's been a day.
It's always like this with you two, like brother and sister, honestly. They fight like cat and dog, but they love each other, really. Right, so we've had a thing today. Brother rang us and went, you're selling a lot of SDX 1200s at the moment. We've run out of stock. So the good news is Carl did his thing, right? And we've got an amazing deal for you on the SDX Tattered Lace machine. Right, so this is it. I'm going to run through the spec for you so that you know exactly what you're looking at. It's an SDX, it's the same as the SDX 900, but it has extras in extra tattered lace designs. It's got a different cover as well, so this is a tattered lace version. So I'm going to run through what the spec of this is that we've printed off from the internet. Now I'm going to tell you the price in a minute. So scanner resolution, it's 600 dpi when you scan to USB. When you're scanning normally, it's a 300 dpi scanner, which is the same as the other ScanNCuts. The scanning area is 12 by 12, so that means that you can scan in a 12 by 12 mat, but you can't scan in a 12 by 24 inch mat. However, you can still cut on a 12 by 24 inch mat. Can't remember the last time I scanned in a long mat, so I won't even worry about that bit. The screen is 3.47 inches from here to here, okay? You've got 682 built-in shapes and patterns. You've got 7 fonts in here, and you still get the quilt blocks in here as well, I believe. Can you remember, Andrew? I'm sure you do. I think you do too. Then, on top of all that lot, through Artspira, which is their app, you can access 122 tattered lace designs, okay? Now, we say Artspira, everyone suddenly thinks subscription, monthly outlay. You don't have to have a subscription to access the tattered lace designs in Artspira, okay? You just need to get the app. Is it Wi-Fi enabled? Yes, it is. The maximum cutting depth is 3 mil, so like the other SDXs. A deep cut blade, yes, absolutely. So the regular blade that comes with it. It's a full auto blade, yep, absolutely. Your standard blade, so you can use your CM blade in there. It doesn't make it an auto blade, but you can use it, yes. And the thin fabric auto blade also works with it as well. So in the box, you're going to get your 3mm auto blade and holder. Your 2 standard tack mats. Now they're what, $24.75 each, Andrew?
Yep.
So you're getting 2 of those, your spatula and your stylus in your accessory pouch, and a sample piece of cardstock. But here's the thing, and let's be really honest, because the ScanNCut is a considered purchase, right? So Carl did his thing with Brother and went, well, how can we sell your product if we haven't got anything? So they've done us a deal on this machine. It's £349 for an SDX with everything that I've just gone through with you. So 682 built-in patterns, 122 through Artspira tattered lace, your 7 fonts, and I'm sure the quilt blocks are in there because I would have noticed if they weren't. We'll plug it in after, Andrew, if we can, and just check, but I'm sure they are. All of that is £349. Now the SDX 900, which is exactly the same machine, but doesn't come with the tattered lace designs, is £349 right now on Amazon. But here's the thing, you do get those 122 tattered lace designs that you can foil, emboss, draw, cut, amazing. £349 before your club discount, plus your loyalty points, plus free shipping. So if you've ever sat there and gone, right, you know what, I'm never going to get a ScanNCut at £400 and odd, that's way out of my budget. I wouldn't use it enough to justify that kind of cost. Maybe, I don't know, whatever the reason is, maybe it's just outside of your price bracket, and we all have a budget and we all get it. Maybe now is the time that you access an SDX for £349 before your club discount, plus your points, free postage, okay? Shop SDX is your code for that if you're interested in getting that machine. Just so that you know, if you want an SDX 1200, it's probably going to be the end of April before they're back in stock. We sold that many, I think we've taken them a little bit by surprise. But you know what? That's a great thing because it means that you're all joining the family. So if I hold this up like this, you'll be able to see the Tattered Lace designs that are included. So there's 122 folders. In this one, for example, there's 3 different pieces. We haven't counted those, we've just done it as folders. So you've got all sorts, from umbrellas to little dresses to ladies expecting babies, dancing couples. You've got a mannequin there that you can dress. You've got fabulous Art Deco dogs in there. You've got your 3 wise men for Christmas, a stag head, corners, snowflakes, season's greetings. Absolutely fabulous, original Tattered Lace designs that you access through the Art Spirit app. And I have to say, when the Art Spirit app first came out, I was a bit like, not sure about that. It's getting better and better and better. But you don't have to subscribe to Art Spirit to access these designs. So you don't have to pay to access them. You don't have to pay that monthly subscription. And even if you decide that you actually quite like Art Spirit, maybe you've got a sketch and you're going to use that with it. Maybe you've got a sublimation printer and you're going to use that with it. So you go, you know what? All right, I'll pay the subscription. You can dip in and out, which is great. That was the first question I asked them when I went to have a look at Sketch. I was like, please tell me you can dip in and out. And they were like, yeah, absolutely. So Shop SDX is your opportunity now to get an SDX Tattered Lace with all that content, okay? Right, yes, Andrew?
Rebecca Wheat says that she loves her Tattered Lace ScanNCut.
There you go, Rebecca loves hers. Right, I've been busy this afternoon. I've been properly busy. So we have got 2 downloads for you. All right, these are both templates. So they were originally card shapes. We've made them. They were originally templates. We brought out the templates for you again because if you don't have a die cutting machine and you don't have a ScanNCut, maybe you only card craft occasionally. This is going to be the physical templates are a great way of accessing card shapes inexpensively. But what we've also do is converted them to SVG files. Okay, so this was launched last month. Shop download, it's $9.99 and it gives you these 4 different card shapes. So I've cut these out on the ScanNCut this afternoon. If you've already bought this download, please re-download it because there was an error on one of the files. So we've sorted that out. Thank you for letting us know. You know what, we're that busy, sometimes things get through the net. But you can have this plus all the matte layers, and there's 3 different matte layers, which is perfect because remember you can put lots of patterns in panels in cards, so you've got lots and lots of options. So you've got your shutter card in there, you've got your center stepper in there, which is a cracking one. Of course you can resize all these as well. You've got your side stepper and you've also got your pop-up. So this you can use as a card like that, which I think is really cool, but it's also your pop-up that can go inside of your card, or you could use it like that. So that's a really versatile card there. I love these. And for $9.99, it saves you the hassle of trying to work it out yourself, going through all the, trying to get this line there and that line there. Brilliant opportunity. But what I also want to show you is that those perforation lines in Canvas Workspace, you can change to a straight line. So if you want to use the blade to score, we'll try and do that. If we don't have time in this hour, because we've got a lot to get through, because we're doing questions and answers, remember, we'll do a little video of that for you. I'm looking at Andrew now going, when are we going to do that? But we'll make it happen, right? We will make it happen. Right, next.
Training Amber.
He's training Amber. Right, so this one was launched today. Now, unfortunately, again, this was a little perforation line when it needed to be a straight line. So we've done it again, we've changed it. So if you bought it earlier on, re-download it, please. I apologise. It's just one of those things. So you've got these 4 brand new ones that launched this morning with Amanda and David. Shop template. $9.99 is going to get you these 4, and these are fab. Seeing as we've just brought the night to remember and that Art Deco feel, how fabulous is that going to be? That's going to be amazing, right? Now this is all made from the card that comes in the posh card, you know, that 4 kilo pack. This is lovely for card blanks. Really, really nice weight. Hold their form. This one, we've got the pyramid one. Again, that would look amazing with your Art Deco. We've got this one here, which is your diamond fold. And then at the front, we've got that really fancy one there that folds in on itself and creates that lovely geometric style card. So all 4 of those, shop template, $9.99. Okay, so $9.99 for that one. Shop template, shop download, $9.99 for these 4. Do you know what? It's always worth grabbing things like this because it'll just make your crafting easier. And that's what we want. We want all the boring bits done for us, and then we can do all the fun. Right, the other thing that that launched today is the stencils that came with A Night to Remember. So we brought you last week, Stephanie and I, 4 Mylar stencils in these designs. They are now SVG files, okay? So download again, instant, no postage. That's what we love. So earlier on today, we took this one and we made this instead. So we made it into a lovely doily. Showed you how to create an offset line for it, so it's got a layer. Showed you how to make a mat for it as well. And you can catch that up, so you can watch that back if you want to. We then did a different version of this, where I showed you how to split the shapes, how to put the halves in and the corners in. So you've had a lot of education with this today, which has been fabulous. And I hope you've enjoyed it, because I have. I love doing stuff like that. So this is what they look like when they're cut out. So you've got that one there, which has got that lovely sentiment block in the middle. It's almost, if you turn it around, looks like a bit like a cracker. If you took that bit away, look, you've almost got like that cracker shape in there as well, which is rather nice. And don't forget, these aren't compounded, which means that you can take them into canvas and play around with the detail. That's the one that we manipulated and changed. Then you've got your chevron. And don't forget, these you can all cut out of the Mylar that we've got on the show and use your pastes through them. And my favourite is that one. I love that one. I think it's so pretty. And you can do so many different things with that. It's crazy. Right, so that one is shop stencil. Thank you, Andrew. Honestly, I forget it tonight. I've lost it. So shop stencil, $14.99 gets you that download. Right, next one, we're going to go on to, I just want to show you this actually, because this is through such stencil. David did this yesterday. It's on fabric, it's washable, it's indoor and outdoor, obviously not on fabric, but it's indoor and outdoor. This is the mousse that we're talking about now. But look how good that stencil was, because it held the gaps in between those lines. This is a brand new launch from Cadence, Expanding Relief Paste. It launched last night with David and I at 6 o'clock, so it's just 24 hours old. 80% is now allocated in people's baskets. If you've used that fluffy stuff before, you know, when you heat it and it looks like snow, this is it on a different level. This is refined detail. It's amazing. The thinner the layer, if we come right in here, Becky, look at the detail that we've got here. It's almost like these little cells. It looks a bit like the cells you get in an acrylic pour. It's absolutely fabulous. The thicker you do it, the higher it will go, but I actually really like the detail in this. And then you can add paint to it, so you can mix it with paint before you actually paste it to give you colour. You could mix it with your finger waxes to give it colour. You could sprinkle glitter into it as you heat it. You could sprinkle embossing powder into it as you heat it. Indoor, outdoor, absolutely phenomenal product. Shop paste, $14.99 will get you that. So I just think about stencils now and all the different things that we're going to do with them. Look at that. That, for me, looks like a piece of vintage lace. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What about that for a door hanger? just part of a stencil. Isn't that beautiful? I love that product. Absolutely love it. Right, let's go through this tattered lace. Now, we launched this a few weeks ago now on a Saturday morning, myself and Stephanie. Is it Saturday? No, we did the Cutting Craftorium on Saturday, and then this one we did on the Monday. So this is Shop Tatter, so Tatter, and we had the opportunity for the first time, and we're going to be doing more of these, to dip into the archive of tattered lace. And I remember taking these USBs on TV, and they were $79.99 each. You're getting 4 of them, or the contents of 4 of them now, for $49.99, so £12.50 each, which is crazy value for money. The content on this is absolutely astronomical. You've got all your sentiments in here. These could be vinyls, they could be embossed, they could be foiled, they could be drawn, they could be cut. You've got lots of individual words here where you can then start to make your own sentiments and phrases. You've got regular tags, you've got tattered tags, you've got tags with little holes at the top. You've got doilies in here, open detail in there as well. Absolutely fabulous, but that's not where it ends. That's just literally the beginning. You've got some fabulous sentiments in here. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. That's one of my favourite all-time sentiments. You've got all of these different ones on here. Good luck, home sweet home. And just so that you know, we're bringing heat transfer vinyl next week. So now think about this, personalisation, right? Then we've got, now I would pay $49.99 for this sheet alone because you've got all these different label shapes, but you haven't got them in several sizes. You've got them in hundreds of different sizes. You've got patterns of stencils. You've got pieces that cut into the card. You've got all these patterns that you can put in different panels, maybe on those cards if you're getting those as a download. You've got a fabulous daisy on there. You've got like that seashell look, so amazing. That would look fabulous with all these different label shapes in here that you get included in the price of $49.99. $49.99 before your discount and before your points. Honestly, I'm not remembering anything tonight. Then we've got our tuck-ins. We've got our torn edge ovals. We've got our pearl ovals. All of these different ones that are resizable time and time and time and time again because you own a ScanNCut. Okay, next one. Fonts. Well, if we're going to be doing personalisation and we're going to be doing heat transfer vinyl, we need our fonts, don't we? Which is absolutely fabulous. So you've got all your beautiful little embellishments down here. You've got sentiments, you've got fairy tale verses, you've got expression of lace letters where they've got really detailed letters. You've got sister, brother, best wishes, dad, with love, happy birthday, mum, on your special day. Then we go on to numbers. And more fonts in here. Look at these with the little washing line. Isn't that the cutest thing? I love these, they're fabulous. Then we go on to what I would class as traditional tattered lace. These beautiful, beautiful panels, the doilies in there, the layers of lace, the corners, the pockets, the build your own flowers, these absolutely incredible flourishes. And they were all tested on a CM machine, okay? So we know that if it works on a CM machine, it'll absolutely work on an SDX. They're just beautiful designs. And then we finish off with this flourish of absolutely delicious designs. Some of these you can take into Canvas Workspace and manipulate. But just this, look at that with the Beatrix Lace panel. If that was a set of dies, you would have got all those nested. Now you're getting those in hundreds of different sizes for each one, which is just extraordinary value for money. Shop Tatter, $49.99. Right, we're going to do a couple of more products and then I'm going to answer some of your questions because that's exciting. I like it when we do this. Oh, I don't know whose hair that is, but that's definitely not one of mine. That's a long one. Look at that. That might be you. It does look like one of yours. Put that in the bin. I'm like, that's definitely not mine. Mine's about that, like that. Right, next one. Craftmaster lift and lock. Right, this is a USB now. Stephanie had this on yesterday on Monday morning. Was it called Monday Morning Mayhem, Andrew?
Yes.
So I came in the second hour and she'd sneaked this in. I was like, oh, I need that on my ScanNCut shows, please. Madness Mayhem, I don't know, I forget, honestly. Right, this USB has volume 1 and volume 2 of the lift and lock design. So lift and lock came about because we both sat there and we went, do you remember Lassie? Stephanie went, oh yeah, I wonder if we could do that as dies. And then I went, oh yeah, can we have them as SVG files as well? I drive everybody mad. But we've done both volumes, should be £45. Shop lift, 15. I know, mad, right? So we're going to give you all of the chevrons, and the names relate to the actual shapes that are in here, okay? So you've got your chevrons, you've got your flowers, you've then got your curves, you've then got your stars, and you've got your hearts, okay? So this is really simple to do. All you do is you're going to cut these in, and of course you can manipulate them because you're working in Canvas Workspace. And last night I took one of the ovals, just separated it, so just grouped half of it and grouped the other half of it, and then popped them into a gatefold card like that. Super, super easy to do, but really lovely, and bringing something different to the party, not just run it through your die cutting machine and you've got the circle or the square or the rectangle or the oval. You can now really become your designer. So you could just have half of it if you wanted, like that. It's brilliant. Honestly, and £15, that's just crazy, crazy value for money. So shoplift, £15 for that one. I am going to just whiz through all about boxes because there's something in here that would work really well with those card shapes. Because you get the matte layers and you get 3 different sizes of the matte layers, 2 of them you can use to put any pattern in any panel. And in this particular download, you actually get 30 patterns. So it's worth buying it just for the patterns. You also get 20 all day, everyday boxes, and you get 10 projects that are made with grey board. So this one is shop box. It's £9.99. Honestly, it'll be an amazing £9.99 that you're spending because you'll be able to make all sorts. So you've got storage units in here. So lots and lots of storage units. So if you want to use up your grey board, this is a great one to get. Again, digital download, instant, no postage. You can be crafting with this tonight. These are your all day, everyday boxes. So things like your milk carton, your lunch box, your octagonal flower box. You've got all sorts of different ones. I love that, the gift wrap box that just all pulls in with a ribbon. You've got your gem boxes, but we give you 3 different shapes. You've got your twisted box, you've got your display box, all of these different ones, and each one was allocated a different pattern. But then I said to Lauren before she went off to have her little baby, she hasn't had her yet, has she? Not yet. We haven't heard any news yet. But we said, why don't we put all the patterns on as well? And I've taught you on a class on YouTube how to put any pattern in any panel on any box. But it doesn't have to be on the boxes. You can take these patterns and put these patterns in any panel on your card shapes. It's brilliant, right? Shopbox $9.99 is not only going to get you those 10 3D projects, but forget those, 20 boxes that you can resize and 30 patterns. That's 600 options. That's crazy. Before you then take them and put them in things like your shape cards, that's going to be magic. Imagine those cards with all those matte layers. So for 10, 20, 30 pounds, you could get all 8 card shapes and your patterns. That's crazy. 8, 9, 16. Go on.
Laurie has not popped yet, no.
No. Oh, is she watching?
I'll just cut out.
Oh.
I mean, yes, she's watching.
Of course she's not watching. She should be sat with her feet up, I hope. With a big bar of chocolate. Right, so Shopbox will get you that one. Right, let's go and answer some of these questions, shall we? Because that's what we're going to do. So come with me. Don't forget that fabulous deal. Oh, sorry, I've got my cup of tea here as well. Tell you I haven't been out the studio today, can't you? Right. Okay, let's start at the beginning. Carol Lewis. Evening, Carol. Question. Mel tells us and shows us what we can do. Are there any things that we should absolutely not do? First of all, never, ever, ever use that on your mat, please. Ever, ever, any kind of spray. Always use the stencil glue that Brother have endorsed. As far as I know, they haven't endorsed any other glue. So make sure that it's a pinflower stencil glue. So that's number one. Are there certain types of paper card we shouldn't use? Okay, so I would use a solid core card stock because white core card is made with chalk and chalk is abrasive and it will blunt your blades. Also, any really cheap card, and you can go out in some of these stores that sell all sorts of wide range of stuff and some of their card just sticks to the mat and it doesn't like it. So you won't get it off. It also doesn't like our pure print, or premium pure print, sorry, but for a different reason. Because the premium pure print has very, very, very tiny fibres, it almost has a higher contact with the mat, and the mat grabs it and it doesn't want to let it go. So listen, you spent your money on a machine, you've invested quite a decent amount of money in a machine. Give it the respect that it deserves and use a good quality cardstock, okay? Can we use other brand cutting mats? Okay, well, I'm going to give you the answer that Brother would give you, and that would be if you do and your machine goes wrong, as in the mat jams, it messes up the rollers, it will void your warranty, okay? Brother like you to use Brother product where possible. So that we can make a list of don't do's as opposed to can do's, just so we don't wreck our machines. Well, first of all, don't drop it from a great height because that's not good. But apart from that, the only maintenance I tend to do, and I'll show you how to do this actually, if I just push that down, we're going to switch this machine off. So I'm just going to take that USB out for now. So let's switch it off so it shuts down, and then I'm going to unplug it at the back, is occasionally clean your scanner. And to clean your scanner, you're going to turn your machine upside down. So make sure you empty the drawers first, unlike me. Pull the tray out like that, and then flip it so it's upside down. Don't be scared of doing this. This is how it's done. There's a little clip here, okay? So you're going to push in that clip and at the same time pull out that tray. Now it's a little bit, there you go, like that. And this is your scanner. So to clean your scanner, you want a damp, not a wet, just barely damp microfiber cloth. Give it a clean and then dry it off with a dry microfiber cloth. And then this will just slot back into there and you can push the tray back in like that. But do that, I would say, every so often. If you end up getting lines going down your mat, it's usually because there's something on your scanner. If it's not reading the mats, sometimes that can be the scanner. So just, that's a little bit of maintenance. The other maintenance that I do is occasionally I will take, again, a damp wet wipe, not a wet wipe, and just clean this area here, okay? And all that muck there that gets picked up will come off. And very, very, very occasionally, I take a damp, blinking heck, I've done that now, haven't I? A damp wet wipe. There you go. I'll drop out the other side. Oh, it's not coming out. It'll be fine. A damp, very, very, very lightly damp. So take a wet wipe out and let it almost go completely dry. And then put it up against the roller. So put your finger inside it, put it on the roller at the top like that so it doesn't get tangled on the rollers, and load and unload your mat. And that turns those rollers and it just keeps those clean. If you want to clean this part of the roller, you can actually unlock this, because you do that when you're using your vinyl starter kit. I'm working upside down and back to front here. And then you can move that slightly, which gives you a little bit of area just to get in there, but please don't let that wet wipe be wet, okay? Just literally take it out of the packet until it's almost dry, and then you just put that back, click it back together, and that's how you can clean that. Blade wise, I would regularly, especially if you're cutting things like grey board, mylar, a card that's quite fibrous, just tap that out, give the blade a little blow, go in there, just tap that out, make sure there's no fluff or bits that's contained in there, because if there is, the blade can't move. But apart from that, somebody asked the other day whether they need to get it serviced on a regular basis. I've never had any of mine serviced. So it's up to you. I mean, there will be a cost to that. If it needs looking at within the first 2 years of your warranty, Brother will pick it up from your door, repair it or replace it, and send it back to you free of charge. So apart from that, Carol, I wouldn't say there's many do-nots, really, but don't ever spray your mat. Oh, the other one is, so if your mat's running out of tack, don't put a piece of card on it and put masking tape around it, because it's not sticking in the middle, okay? If it's not sticking in the middle, you imagine trying to chop a carrot in midair. It's like that. It's nothing to cut into. Yes, Andrew?
Another question when you're done.
Oh. So apart from that, I would say there's not much else that really that can go wrong with it, as long as you just look after it. And your USBs, just make sure you take them out before you put your machine on the shelf so it doesn't bend and break inside your machine. Had that happen too. Hi Mel, I used to do detail embossing by hand, so purchased the embossing kit a few years ago but never used it. Now I'm going to start after your fab demos. Thank you. Question. What would be the maximum number of times you would emboss the parchment? I saw you do it twice on different pressures. Thanks for your fab demos, inspiration, advice and humour. Thank you very much. Crafting wishes, Elaine. Yeah, I'm not going to go down that road. Right, so it depends on what you're doing. So yesterday, interestingly, and I'm glad you've asked that question actually, because yesterday I was embossing one of these stencils. And I found that because it's doing a straight line like that and it's going round in a rectangle, the third time it actually split the vellum, the parchment, even though it's a heavy weight. And that's because it's a lot of force and it's dragging itself through, so it's forcing its way down. If you're doing something like a detail, just the detail, I would say 3 times probably maximum. So I do it twice on 0 and once on 1. So your embossing settings, when you go into embossing, it will ask you your pressure, put it on 0, send it round once, let it rest. Send it round again, let it rest. Increase the pressure to 1 and then go round a third time. You'll know, you'll be able to see it, but that's the only time in using that vellum for quite a while now that I've had it go through, and it's because it's doing that straight line. So it's all that pressure in one single place. But apart from that, I think you just try it on yours. Yes, Andrew?
What speed would you recommend? You mentioned speed and depth once.
Oh, just fast, just full. Don't need to change your speed. When I first started using electronic cutting machines, and it's the same for embossing and drawing, it really doesn't make any difference. When I first started using cutting machines 20 years ago, the guy who invented Cricut, who came up with it, said to me in a meeting, the quicker the speed, the better the cut. And I went, really? Because it didn't make sense. I wanted it to be slow and more precise. And he described it as putting a big log through an industrial saw. If you do it slowly, it does that. If you do it quickly, you get a really smooth cut. So I have never in 20 years changed my speed on any machine that I've ever used. So that would be my advice. I know different people will tell you different things, but it's never failed me. So if it ain't broke, I'm not going to fix it. Okay, so that's the first 2. Thank you for those, Carol and Elaine. Yes, Andrew?
When you get an update, how do you know what it is?
Oh, well, so if you go into, let me think about this, you go into Brother Solutions Centre UK, and it will click on the update. So it'll ask you which machine you own. So you tell it the cutting machine, tell it which model, and then it will tell you what's in the update. More often than not, it's a bug fix. Normally, if it's something big and wow, Brother will let me know. But sometimes it's just little things that they need to change. But they're all free, and you'll just get an update available appear on your screen here if you've got a Wi-Fi enabled machine, including the CM900 now. Another question? Yes, Andrew?
From Louise, do you need to calibrate the SDX machine?
Do you need to calibrate the SDX machine? Okay, so there's 2 different things that you can do. So calibration is when you have knocked your screen slightly out. So when you're tapping it there and it's not picking up the shape, you have to tap it here to pick up that shape. That's more often than not because you've been using your fingernail. Me, terrible. Or you've been sat using it sideways, which is what I do a lot. Try and use your stylus face on, and then you don't seem to end up with that issue. Now, calibrating it to get it back to normal used to be a thing that you had to send your machine back to Brother, but they did it as an update years ago now, and it's a bit of a pain in the neck to do. But unless you're touching something and it's not grabbing it, don't bother, okay? You don't need to do it as a matter of course at all. Your cutting scanning position alignment is when and this is kind of a calibration, is when you're scanning in an image and it's cutting more on one side than it is on the other. So it's not cutting centralized, it's not giving you that even edge around the outside. And that you can just do really simply, but don't mess with it unless it needs it, okay? If it's not broke, you're not going to go under your bonnet to your car engine and start messing about with it if there's nothing wrong with it. So, I know Andrew's crying in the corner because he's just heard how much his car is going to be repaired. And it's not a nice number. Several ScanNCuts worth are going on over there. I know, I'm sorry, Andrew. But don't mess with it unless you need to, I know.
Just don't do what Ryan did and pay loads of money to get your car through its MOT and then go and write it off later.
No, he didn't. Oh.
I was like, I'm glad we paid all that money to get it through its MOT.
Wow. Well, that's not good. Do what I do and dig your heels in, Andrew, and go, it's only 5 years old. It shouldn't be having these problems. You need to sort it out. That's what I did. And they did. Right. Next one. How to download files and where do they go? Right, Alison, let's have a look at this for you. So, let's go into my laptop here. So if we're going to download files, so you bought a download, right? And that goes into your downloads. So if I just minimize this, how do I get out of this now? I've done that. Escape. F11. Oh, there we go. See, I tell you, I don't do technology. I really don't. Right, so let's go into, oh, good grief, there's all sorts going on here. What's going on here? Blinking heck, Melanie. Right, so let's open up my PC, I think, maybe. Yes. Right, so we go to downloads, which is here. And let's say we want to download this file. Okay, so let's click on that. Now, it's got a little folder that's got a zip on it. Okay, and the zip is like a packet of dies that's closed. So we're going to open that packet of dies, we're going to unzip it, then we can take out those files. So to do that, we right click and it should come up with a box that says extract all. So we're going to extract all and then it will ask you for a destination. So I go into browse and more often than not I will put it onto a USB. So, but you could put it into documents on your desktop, wherever you want to save it. So I'm going to go to USB drive. I've selected that folder, so I click select folder and then you extract. And that opens up that folder and copies what's in that zipped folder into the place where you've decided you want to save it. So it really is as simple as that. There is a video on our YouTube channel showing you exactly start to finish how to do that, but it's a really simple process. It's just extract means it's taking it out. I don't know why they use these fancy terms, why it doesn't say open it and take the files out. I don't know, because it's all this tech talk. We live in a world where everything's abbreviated, don't we? I'm like, what does that even mean? I feel like having a proper rant now and again. So that's how you literally do that. So when I then go to my, let's click that again and let's go back to here and go into the USB. That file then that we've just downloaded will be on there and it will be open. So one of these then, and literally it unzips it and it takes it out. I think it was 2025. What date are we on today? Is it the 4th or the 5th today? 4th? 4th. It's been a day today. Everything's gone wrong today from the minute we walked in. There we are, card templates there. So we just open that up. And there they are, all right? So it's that simple. It's not difficult at all. If I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. I didn't even know you needed a page open to paste onto. I was like trying to copy it into midair. I had no idea. Oh, yes, Andrew.
Barbara has asked.
Yes, Barbara.
Can you buy a new stylus?
Can you buy a new stylus? Now, there's been a thing about this recently. So when I went to, Brother have always said no, and they've always said no because it doesn't come packaged and it doesn't have the hang sell thing on for people to be able to sell it. But apparently it's a spare part. So we are going to try and get you some. But you can also, we had some of these on recently. It wasn't exactly this one. I haven't got one in this machine, but it was like this. You can use those. I'm not going to lie, they're better, so we will try and get some, but I would think we could probably sell thousands of them for the number of times. I've given most of mine away. I think I've got 2 left now. That's it. So we'll try and get some in for you. I'll speak to Brother tomorrow and see what they can do. Right, next one. Do you need to stabilise fabric for quilting shapes, as lots of them will be cut on the bias and might distort when taking off the mat? What would you recommend to stabilise with? Right, this is a bit controversial. Controversial. So, Brother sell a high contact adhesive sheet, which actually comes in some of the machines, and they recommend you put it onto a low tack mat. Then you iron your fabric, place it on top of there, and the blade will cut through the fabric, but it will also cut through that high contact adhesive, high contact adhesive sheet. But you keep putting the shapes back in and you use it till it's shredded. I find it a little bit faffy. So they brought out a mat called a fabric mat, which already has that on, but it's still kind of the same thing. So I haven't cut a lot of fabric without stabilising it, so I am going to do some testing and I will get back to you, Sue, as soon as I've done it, because I bought a sewing machine. And I'm going to do quilting on it with this because I want to quilt, but I don't want all the faff of buying all the rulers and the rotary blades and getting it wrong and cutting the fabric wrong and throwing it out the door and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to do it on this, so I'll be able to tell you more after I've tested that. But I found on the occasion that I have cut it without stabilising it, I use the stencil glue because it makes the mat sticky enough to hold it in place. So I think as long as your mat's sticky and as long as your fabric is burnished down properly, so iron your fabric, cut it to the size of the mat and then burnish it down, I think it's fine with the stencil glue. But I will do more tests and I will get back to you. We really haven't touched the surface of this machine with fabric, and I feel that we should now. Going forward, I think it's now the time to be able to do that. I know Sarah Payne did some stuff with it and she used the high contact adhesive sheets, but I do also think that it's a bit of a faff because you've got to peel it off the back and then sometimes it can fray. So let me do a few more tests and then we'll do this. If you're using a fabric that's stabilised with something like heat and bond, I mean this machine cuts it like an absolute dream, you can literally take the paper backing off the heat and bond and then put it on your mat. Because if you put it on with the paper backing sticks to the mat, but the fabric isn't stuck to the paper backing. So it'll come away. So let me do some more tests with it as well, Sue, and then I'll keep this and we'll get back to you, or I'll show you in a show. Right, Jacqueline, when I've watched Mel on previous shows working with vinyl, I noticed she has the weeding facility on the ScanNCut. I have 3 SDX 1200s, blinking heck. Wow. Well done you, but I can't get them to show on my machines. If I use the PC version, I can see it there, but I don't like the PC version. What am I doing wrong? Okay, that's interesting. I don't know why that's not happening. So let's have a look. Because it's not in here where you have to switch it on. So it's not in any of the premium functions here that you have to switch on, because it's not the embossing and it's not the foiling and it's not the piercing. And there isn't one, I don't think, for vinyl. Let's have a look along here. Roll feeder, region emboss. So it's not in there. So when you bring on a design, for example, let's do the snowflake, famous snowflake. And then we'll go to set. And then if we go to OK, and please select and cut. If you then go into your settings here, into your spanner, and go down to page 2, your weeding box should be there. So please have a look at all 3, and if it's not there, email me, mel@highlightcrafts.com, with a picture of that and then I can send it to Brother and ask the question for you.
I'm sure it is, but make sure your machine's fully updated.
Yeah, well, yeah, if there's an update available when you connect to Wi-Fi, do that. But I don't understand why it wouldn't be there, because it's built in. So, Jacqueline, I need you to have a look for me, even if you do it before the end of the show, and let me know. If it's not there, I want you to, it's nothing to do with Canvas Workspace, just so that you know, because you're looking at the PC version. It's not in Canvas, it's actually on your machine. And if I just go through that again, when you get to the cut screen, it's that little spanner there. You go down the single arrow to page 2, half cut on, and then you should have weeding box on underneath there. If it's not there, send me a picture of that screen and I will contact Brother for you and find out what's going on, because it's automatically there. It's not like a premium function that you've got to switch on. It's just as soon as you put your vinyl blade in, well, it's already there, so I'm not quite sure about that. Right, we've got any more questions, Andrew?
We do.
Go on then.
We've got a lot of comments.
Lovely.
Jane has Jane has said that we should be resting the parchment in between embosses for at least 20 minutes.
Okay, there you go.
To get the best result.
Yep, okay, there you go. That's a parcher. Love that. Thank you for that tip.
Teresa's asked, can I get new embossing tools?
Can you get new embossing tools? I don't think so without buying the embossing starter kit, because they come as part of that. I will ask the question for you. If we'll save all these questions, and I will message my guy at Brother tomorrow, who's brilliant, I have to say, absolutely fabulous. He heads up the education and the service for Brother in the UK and Europe, and he's a little bit cross at the moment because we've got people out there saying things that aren't true about their backup. So Skitch absolutely is being backed up 100% by Brother, because he's doing it. So he's like, how dare they say that we're not doing it when I'm here every day doing it? Secondly, any machines that you buy from Brother from us will have the full warranty. Okay. And thirdly, there was a rumour going around the other week that they are not supporting CM machines anymore by discontinuing the mats. That is categorically not true. So if you ever hear rumours like that out there, you know what it's like. Message me, I'll message Brother, they'll message Japan, and then we'll get the definitive answer. Because otherwise, can you imagine sitting at home and you bought a CM and suddenly somebody says, oh, they're not going to make mats anymore. You're not going to be very happy, are you? So let's just get it, and let's not think about what everybody else is saying. Let's get the actual facts out there. Right, any more?
Do I need a different blade to cut grey board?
No, absolutely not. So if you're working on an SDX, you're going to use your regular blade. Now, my top tip for cutting grey board would be go into your settings and set your cut amount to 0.3 mil. And that means on 1 mil grey board, it will cut it 3 to 4 times, but it's a gentle cut. So if I sent you in your garden to dig a 3-foot trench, you're not going to try and stick the spade down and pull all that earth out. You're going to do it gently. Allow the machine to do it gently. Tell it how deep you want it to go on each cut. So on the first one, it'll go down 0.3 mil. On the second one, it'll go down 0.6 mil. On the third one, it'll go down 0.9 mil. And then more often than not, it's done. Now, I got asked this question about a CM machine. So the CM machine, don't use your deep cut blade. It's too powerful for the mats. So going with your standard blade, start with your pressure on 1 and keep your pressure on 1 right throughout the cut. Increase the blade depth. So start on 3, then go to 6, then go to 9, and then if you need to, go to 11. And that should cut through. But you don't want to put that much force on that blade. Make it do that down a moving platform. And what will happen is your mat can do that sometimes. So very, very, very gentle cuts. You don't need a different blade. I tend to keep a separate blade for grey board just because it will blunt your blades a little bit faster. And don't buy grey board that's got chips in. We're struggling at the moment to get hold of a good quality grey board at decent price. Card prices have gone through the roof. which is why we're not stocking it at the moment, because we tried one the other day. There was a chip in it, the blade hit it, and it sent the blade skewing off. So until we can get a good quality one, we're not going to stock it at the moment, but we are looking. Right, I'm going to just recap these card shapes. Now we've got samples made, because that will enable you to see what you're actually buying, which is always good, right? We've only got 3 minutes left. Where's this day gone? Me and Andrew were in at 6:20 this morning. It feels like we've been here for days. But then in the other hand, I don't feel like I've got a lot done. Right, so today's release is these 4 fabulous downloads. We did have a little issue with one of them, so it was a perforation line instead of a slit. We've rectified that. So if you bought it earlier, please re-download it, because the files are now correct.
From your members, from your own account on the website, go to your downloads and just re-download it.
There you go, what he said, because I can't remember that. Shop template is going to get you these 4 different card shapes. So the one that you can see at the front, which is super cool. This is your diamond one. This would be lovely with your Art Deco, or even with your stencils. And this card is the posh card. You know, the 4.5 kilograms, the 120 sheets that you're getting. Look how beautifully it folds with this card. It's lovely, and it's a really nice weight. You get a really good quality card base. If you want that, it's A3 plus. So as a ScanNCut user, you cut it down to 12 by 12. You get a very thin strip that you could use as a band across, as a sentiment band. And then you get a strip about that deep and the full width extra. So it's a really great opportunity to stock up on a great paper that works with your ScanNCut and card. So this card, it's all card really, probably from about 200 up to about 280, 300. This is a really good quality card. So you get that one, and you get your pyramid, which I think is fabulous. Shop template, $9.99. Remember, if you've got any patterns from any of the digital Craftorium, you then get mats and layers. So you get 3 mats and layers, all laid on top of each other. So if you want to group them together, group it with your card shape and resize it. You can resize everything in one go. It's brilliant. I love these. It's a cracking idea. So that's that one. This one has been out since last month. It was on the show again today. Again, there was a slight issue with one of the files. So go back and re-download this if you haven't done already. And this gives you your shutter card. And these all fold flat, go into your envelope, like so. Look how fabulous these are, I love that. Shutter card, you've then got your centre stepper, you've got your side stepper, and for a stepper to hold like this and not end up like Bambi, shows you the quality of that card. And then this is a fabulous card shape. It's actually the pop-up for inside, but I really like it as a card shape like that. So you could have it like that, you could have it like that, as a stepper, and for $9.99 you get all 4, which is fab. If you just prefer to have a score line, so when you do a perforation line, if you're doing a valley fold, it has to be a perforation line, because it has to be able to fold both ways. If it's a mountain fold, you can do it as a score line with the blade. We did a video, didn't we, scoring with the blade?
Yes.
Yes, we've done that one. So check that out online. In Canvas Workspace, if you highlight a perforation line, making sure it's going to be a mountain fold, you can change it in the dash patterning properties to a straight line. So if you prefer a score line for your mountains, but you have to have a perforation for your valleys, otherwise it pulls the card layers back, then you can do that in Canvas. Right, let me show you this card before we love you and leave you, because we're back in early tomorrow morning. I think you've got Stephanie first thing, and then me at 9 o'clock. And I've no idea what I'm doing tomorrow, because I haven't even had time to look. So in here, you're going to get 4.5 kilograms of this fabulous quality cardstock. Solid core red. Red is one of the most difficult colours to get hold of. So you've got red, okay? 20 sheets of that. You're then going to get 20 sheets of this lovely, it's like a very soft warm grey, and this I would say is probably the lightest weight one. This is probably, I'm going to say 200, so it's a lighter weight card, still cuts beautifully on your ScanNCut. You've then got this mottled card in grey, which is absolutely beautiful, and for your mats and layers that's going to be lovely. Nice weight that. I'm going to say that's probably about 240. You've got the same in this lovely cream. It's like an ivory colour. It's beautiful. Then you've got this gorgeous, it's like clotted cream ice cream. It's really, really pretty colour. Very, very soft. But again, a really nice weight on this one. Listen. Good weight. I'm going to say that's probably a 270. And then you've got this one. And this was the one that Stephanie uses with the watercolour. And it's fabulous. This is what I've made all of those card bases out of. You get 20 of those. 4.5 kilograms. A3 plus. This is the extra bit that you get once you've cut a piece of 12 by 12 out of it, plus a little strip. So all these pieces you're going to save back because you can put them on your mat and scan them in. Comes in its own box. Get your basket to over £35. You're not paying postage. And this is 4.5 kilograms. So imagine how much that's going to cost to post. But that's not your problem because we're going to send it to you. Right. So as I said right at the beginning of the show, we've given Brother a bit of a headache today because we sold out of all the SDX 1200s. We're like, what's going on? Like, don't give me a product to sell and then not expect me to sell it. So we've got onto them. We've given them a little bit of earache about it, and we've got a deal on the SDX Tattered Lace machine. So I'm going to tell you the specs of it so that you can make your considered decision. It has a 300 dpi scanner, 600 dpi when you scan to USB, so your documents, your photographs, etc. When you scan to USB, you get 600 dpi quality. Scanning area is 12 by 12. That doesn't mean that you can't cut on the 12 by 24 inch mats. In fact, you can use the 12 by 24 on every single ScanNCut that we ever brought you, whether it's here or on Create and Craft. You just can't scan them in. Your display screen is 3.47 inches corner to corner. You've got 682 built-in designs, 7 fonts, and I'm sure the quilt blocks are on there because I would have noticed if they weren't, plus through the Artspira app, but not the paid for version, so the free version, because they're included with your designs, you get 122 Tattered Lace folders of designs. It's Wi-Fi enabled. The maximum cutting depth is 3 mil. That means things like foam, felt, not things like MDF and grey board. Please don't try and do that because you'll break your blade. It comes with the deep cut blade. It's full auto blade technology. You also can use your standard blade from your CM machine in there if you ever wanted to do that. It doesn't make it an auto blade, but you can use it. And it also works with the thin fabric blade as well. So in your box, you're going to get 2 standard mats, your 3mm auto blade and holder, your spatula, your accessory pouch, your stylus, and a piece of card. And just to show you, these are the Tattered Lace designs that you access through the Artspira app. And I'll be honest, when I first saw the Artspira app, I was like, not sure about that. Actually, now it's getting better and better and better. And if you've just bought a sketch or you have a Brother sublimation printer, you can also use Artspira with those, but you've got some beautiful designs in here, all of which can be drawn, cut, foiled and embossed with our fabulous ScanNCut. But here's the thing, maybe the SDX 1200 is always going to be out your price range, but you're desperate for a ScanNCut. It's £349 today. That's matched on Amazon for the SDX 900, which doesn't have the additional Tattered Lace designs. So you're getting an extra 122 folders worth of Tattered Lace designs. On top of that, you will also get your club discount, plus your loyalty points, plus free postage. £349 for an SDX is phenomenal value for money. You decide whether you want the machine, whether you want a machine with a larger screen, whether you're happy with the smaller screen, whether you're just going to work in Canvas Workspace so the screen size really doesn't matter. It's entirely up to you. But if it's down to price, think about your discount that you get as your club member, plus your loyalty points that you'll be able to use going forward on your accessories. Honestly, cracking deal. You make your decision. Shop SDX is your code. Thank you. Oh, go on, one more, Andrew.
Gordon, it's shop download. I just can't reply to him because.
Oh, Gordon, shop download. Andrew says. Thank you for your company all day today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your questions. Any that I couldn't absolutely say, this is what you need to do, I will find out and I will let you know. And Jacqueline, if you still can't find that weeding box, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't know, it's gone. If you still can't find the weeding box on your screen, send me a picture and I'll send it on to Brother. Have a lovely evening and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning when we'll do it all over again. Take care, lots of love, bye.